So down this little lane past the meeting house, you can head to the original Sandy Spring, and that's where I'm going today. What I do before I connect to the Akashic Records is I just kind of get in that mindset that I'm going to be opening up the records, and I am just setting my intention as I go to connect with maybe the people who lived here long ago and how this land was used and maybe why people had come to this spring in the past. And we'll tune in and see what the area wants to share today through the records. But it's just a beautiful path, a beautiful day to go exploring and opening the Akashic Records. So we're just approaching it, and I'm just gonna kind of do a pan so you can see what a beautiful space this is. And the spring is over this way. There's a sign here because it's part of the Underground Railroad Trail. This is the old spring. So I will maybe sit on this bench and open up the records. So I've just opened the records and I'm getting emotional, and I just feel there's a lot to be said, like almost bringing tears to my eyes. So I was just starting off to say, when I opened the Akashic Records, I felt a lot of emotion, and all of a sudden I thought it was like a fox or something, but it was just a dog, and a golden retriever, which just has a lot of meaning for me, and that was really special that came through at this time. I don't know. You know, you just look for little signs that show you you're doing the right thing, and that golden retriever coming over just now was perfect. They're talking about the challenges that the people had faced when they connected with the space. And it wasn't that it was as if it were like a war or connection like that. It was just figuring out life and figuring out the energy that they could sustain themselves in the way that they were. So people had this time to sit and reflect and just feel into the energy of what's around them. They're talking about the challenges people had with their livelihood and the things that they had to get done and the work that they had to do. It wasn't as if you could relax a long time. It was more that you would take a break in between chores or in between things. And there's people coming to talk with me about different things in the energy here. So they're talking about the soul level purpose of this place. I was asking, and it was contentment, and that's not a word that I use very often. And just talking about the livelihood that sustained them was their purpose, to keep going and to thrive and to feel connected to their community was a super connected, a connected way of being connected with other people. And it wasn't as if you were meeting people all the time. You had your own work to do, your own spaces to live in, but at times you would come together, and that was the unity of the space. The tribe that they felt was creating this energy around this work here, and bringing together people for their countrymen or something, the connections here. They're talking about something with a powerful challenge that they had was different than nowadays. There were more people here, more energy workers, and there were people who really just dove into spirituality because it was a part of them. It wasn't something separate. It wasn't something that they had to plan to do. It kept them busy. It kept them connected, and it really just made them feel supported in who they were and saying they were a part of something bigger, and they knew, I don't know if it was God or whatever was guiding them through things. Understand the connection to people is three times as big as anything else. The people of the place purposely, intentionally were brought together for many years to connect with one another, and there was a time where they were every day coming here because this was their purpose of living. They had to come here to live, to get water, to shift their energy to supporting and connecting with the energy here. So it wasn't about connecting with people, but it was I'm hearing sustain. The challenge was in sometimes it did run dry as it is here, and that was a simple thing that they had to reserve water for their use later on. There was times when it was dry, and that powerful choice of making it take power over them to provide for had to be sought to connect with on a deeper level. There was a creative happy dance that people would do when they would bring about water. There was also if they were trying to speak about it in a way that they could see the generosity of people through the water. It's something different than you have today. The water on it being, instead of being something you take for granted, it was so joyous and happy when the water was coming and a part of their energy. And the people want to talk to you about something here. a woman, a little lady, had basically a happy dance when she would see the water. She would challenge others to say, hey, how can we get more, and put it away for good use later. But the talent that they had was taking it and allowing the space to be their place of connection with the air, the water, and the land. The energies have been held here over time. People fought for this, for others, and the way that they had time to talk with others was different now than then. They just made sure they talked with people and had this way of speaking with one another. There was a lady here who talked with you earlier. She says she's coming back to tell you there was a handsome fellow here too. They own this property with their handsome, many like generations of people owned this land. It was a caretaker who caught a breeze or felt the energy of it, and it was in the way that he was here for his own alignment. He was a good-hearted man, had this basically a brew belly. What's that have to do with it? Bringing people grew up here, brought people here, and had this way about him. We're talking to you to bring energy to say that there's people here who really know this stuff and had this way about them. Worked hard with the land. Have people who lived or worked here shaped the spiritual energy? 100%. They were the energy guides, the energy workers, and I'm getting chills as I say that. They purposely let go of the field and tended to their crops with more of a generosity and keeping people connected and utilizing what was here. They didn't have a lot to work with, but they made the best of it for croppers. But it was in this place where they just tended to day-to-day rigorous activity. For you to say that it was everyday activity. What does this place want to be remembered for? So, something about the place makes you remember the peace and quiet and the energy of lighting up when people arrive, to see the connection to people. It's making me emotional. And the generations, like the generations and generations who come here. It's insistent upon us to see the beauty in what we see around us, the air, the sounds, nature, the beauty, and so much more than that. But it's totally different now. People have to stop and pay attention. And in the old days, it was more of a daily connection or a ritual. Are there unresolved energies or soul contracts that are still here? Not every day, actually, no. There's nothing that binds people to this place. It will be here for long because if people put property testaments in place or something, contracts, but it's over the years it's changed and it's protected. It's definitely different than it was. All right, is there any one person who's here who likes this place who'd like to share a story with me? I would love to hear that. Percolate, let it percolate. I'm hearing the word generosity. The generosity of people keep this going, and they're purposely, intentionally talking about that to begin a little story that they have. There was a little lady here, but a man of generous nature, who said, let's make sure we keep this place as a connection to prior times or something. And they're just letting us know that it was created because they wanted people to continue to recognize the energy of long ago, or the place that this was. There was a woman too who had no idea this would be a place people would come still, but she connected with this place where this was a place where she called home. She lived here with her handsome husband and had time together with them here on this property. She lived in one of the houses on the street. Yes. She was a handsome lady, had many people around her supporting her, and was a caretaker of the home, and she was someone who was pretty much the leader of the energy in the space of her home. She talked to people here, would like to talk with people for a long time, and kind of created this pacing of space where she spoke about her life in this location. Okay, so one by one, let's have one person come through. An old lady. She had this way about her that was really beautiful. She talked with people for a long time and just raised a glass to say she's here. She's somebody who would just be connected to people and sharing the stories and like to talk about things. Let's see if I can get some energy of what to know about the Sandy Spring. It was a reservoir of place where people came together. They had this time together with energy. They spoke about their energy work here. They talked together for hours and made a meeting place here, even as if it was different than the shifting down the road. They would talk to people and talk about their lives and get back on track. They didn't have to spend hours here, but it was more of a how you doing, get to know you, and leave. The woman here was a woman who was really beautiful, and she said to herself, I want to come back here every day to think and pause. I was hearing when I was taking pictures of the mushroom once, twice, 3 times a lady, so there must be a lady here. She's quick and easy on her feet. She was somebody pretty happy about life and just had this energy about her where she was whipping around doing different things. Come back tomorrow and another day and connect with us. We really want to hear your energy stories and want to hear what you're saying. There's people here, really many coming to hear what you have to share. But coming together, we want to bring that power of yourself together with this. There's lots of lessons learned here, so many lessons learned. It was almost as if people were connecting here in this place to get energy work done at some times or another. They were kind of precariously on the energy like brink of something, or too hard to say, but they were talking about the challenges that they had, and they didn't know what to do. They had this fear within them because people were coming from around to assist them and help them, but there were also people who were coming to get on their case, or get on their case about something, or be connected to anger and anger management. Almost as if they were saying, cut the ties and let it go, because people wanted to be connected, but they were worried about connections that would get them in trouble. But it was about that energy that they were getting from here. It wasn't just the water, it was the connection to people to assist them on their way. And as much as you can tell, Nancy, there's people here who want to speak about that, for it wasn't easy, and the power that they had to take on this hard road ahead because they needed to. It was not a choice. They had to for the sake of their life and generations. And it wasn't as if they were saying, I have to do it my way. It was interrogation that they felt that they were getting here, but they knew it was for their best and highest good. There was a lady here, as you mentioned. She was somebody who was a kind of short, stout nature, stature, and she was talking about the challenge that she felt when she arrived here. She had came with like nothing but the back of her clothes, nothing but the clothes on her back, and she was talking about this power that she felt within her to make it happen or make it going. And she was about a challenge in her life was never worse than anything she had already seen. So she said she did it anyway. And they're saying to me, keep going forward. There's people who want to hear the stories and the energy about what's taken place in locations, and I'm here to share what I have to say with them. And that's beautiful to say that you're going to share whatever comes. There's actual people here who want to share their word, their scripture even, the truth. The power is insane. I'm here to help them in their journey, to share this story and speak about what happened here many years ago, and talk about the power that they feel when I get to share their verbiage and their word through their own lens and their own feelings and their own power and passion. A woman wants to share something about herself to maybe look into in the history books. She was a woman who was a powerful lady. Boy, she was powerful. She had this power of speaking. People listened, and she talked. She talked for a long time about words matter. Words matter, she says. And the words matter because they matter. The stories and the power that the people felt was insistent upon us to get it right. The storybooks aren't always right, and she says they want us to get it right through these words and make a date of it, make a date to come back, because there's more than meets the eye, and there's more energy that understand that we can feel the gaps in with these words to understand even more than you know. And by asking questions and getting clarity and speaking about it, you will need to say, I can take my time and allow it to come through. Anything I share is important, and I want that to be the word, like the scripture, she's saying. So, in summary, felt like a lot of energy there. There were several people coming through, and I felt a lot of different energies. And so, sure enough, when I looked on the sign afterwards, the property was owned by a few different people. I asked them general questions this time. And next time I come, I will be more specific and dive deeper into specific periods of time or specific people and get information about that. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm just curious to see how this all unfolds. And I just felt the energy of happiness and being able to share their stories. Thank you. And I hope to see you here again.